I did my gig last night. I did my gig.
How did it go?
Was it
Oh my God,
obviously Natalie and I couldn't be there because we were in the theatre.
I know.
Because I'm in Brighton working.
I know. But listen, it's really good. And there'll be lots more, girls. So you have to be at the next one.
But was it a resounding success, Dee? I'm sure.
It was a resounding success. Resounding. Standing ovations and paparazzi and red carpet. And, oh no, it was actually spit and sawdust. Really nice mates.
You wet your whistle back into performing in that way.
Yes. Yes, it was brilliant.
What you said then when I just heard you wet your... Honestly,
I must admit, when I came out with it, I thought that's a strange expression. Because...
Do you know where that comes from, Natalie? Where does wet your whistle? Where does that come from?
Wet your whistle is WHET, wet your whistle. And it just means dip your toe in the water, wet your whistle, try something.
That's right.
Try something new.
I know what it means, but I didn't know. I don't know where it comes from.
No, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
we will. We'll have to Google
Wonderbird show about strange expressions one day.
That's a very good idea. So we have a special friend of Julie's, and he doesn't know that she's on today. So would you like to announce him, darling?
I would love to. I adore this man. It is the great Russell T Davies. Welcome, Russell.
Yes. Ah, there you are. Hey.
Hello.
Look who I got as a surprise for you.
Is that Jude? Look. My old secret lover.
No, I didn't tell you, Russell, because I thought she'd be a surprise for you.
Too excited.
Hello, Russell. Hello.
How are you, Julie? I didn't.
Oh, just stop it. Just stop it.
As you know, I'm joined by Debbie D, and we've got Natalie with us today. Natalie.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Now, how many of us saw Russell on the Graham Norton show last week?
Yes, twice.
It's Natalie and I couldn't, obviously, because we're in the theatre at the moment.
Yes.
We're doing a play, so we didn't see it. But I've got it on my catch up. Everyone's been going mad about it.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous of Oti Mabuse because she sat next to Russell and she was touching you a great deal.
I know she was.
We had such a laugh. She was clinging to me by the end, wasn't she? Every time someone else said something or funny or got a round of applause, I was turning to her and muttering, "You're my favourite." Just howling by the end. After I'd done that about 20 times, she was hooting. Lovely. Gorgeous woman. What a truly gorgeous woman. Everyone.
She's lovely.
That was nice, yeah.
And Helena Bonham Carter talking as well. Tell us about Nolly, how it's... What's the actual date it starts, Russell?
Well, now it's on streaming. It's on ITVX, and you should have ITVX if you've got a smart TV. It should exist.
Yes. Yeah.
It'll come onto ITV eventually in a few months. So February the 2nd, second month, second day. We're going choo-choo.
I can't wait.
I hope
it's absolutely brilliant. Oh, gosh. Do you know, I'll have to tell you, Russell, at the moment, I'm going through something with my mum, where I found a contract with her name crossed out in the 70s that they'd done a deal without her. And it's exactly the same sort of thing I just really, really hand it to you to do this because it's really important.
Yeah.
Did you actually know her? Nope, never knew her, never met. A friend of mine did Gypsy with her. A friend of mine became I think it was the AFM when he started out. And Jay Alexander, you might know Jay Alexander.
Oh, yeah, we know Jay.
Yes. Everyone knows Jay. Believe you me. Lovely Jay Alexander, who I knew when I was 14. We were in the same youth theatre together. And one of his first jobs, he was AFM, and then I think somehow he became like the assistant musical director on that production of Gypsy that she did at the Leicester Haymarket once she left Crossroads. So he was bizarrely, that's my friend Jay. He's best friends and has lived his entire adult life with my friend Jill, whose stories I based it to Sinner.
Yeah.
So it's like I moved from one flatmate to another. I went, I can tell your stories now. But I love Jay. So yes, he had to talk about what Noel Gordon was like, and she was. I ended up talking to her like just about the entire chorus that had been in Gypsy with her. That was a few camp conversations, let me tell you.
It was so treacherous what was done to her. I mean, we saw the wonderful scene, on Graham Norton where she's telling everybody. But I mean, it must have been such a shock. And why? Or is that giving the game away?
It is that. It's funny the things that. Part of the reason I wrote this was like, as more time passes, you realise how terrible that was. It seemed quite funny at the time. It was a soap star getting sacked, and all the newspapers joined in with that game of how does Meg die? And it was front page news. Do you remember all the time? Did she die in a fire? Does she take a drug overdose? Is she murdered? All of that stuff. And that's fun. And I was 18 years old at the time, and I was laughing. But as you get older, as I get to work with actresses like yourselves, and as you find your way in the industry, it looked odder and odder and odder. The more distance from it, the more strange I thought it was. And I began kind of asking about it and asking people who were there. And so over decades, actually, that story built up in my head. I mean, it took me 40 years to get there in the end, but I did. And I think it's a monstrous story of someone being treated so badly. And you do find out why, Julie, in the end. It's like, I don't want to give it away, but there's no awful revelations. I'm not outing her. We're not shocking anyone. There's nothing like that. When I say I discovered how she was sacked, I discovered like the chain of conversations that led to it, which is almost an accident. But you sit there, that's a woman's life. It's her entire life. So, and actually, when you watch Nolly, it's completely balmy, and I have a lot of fun with it. And you might sit there thinking, is this true? Is this all made up? Everything you watch is true. It's absolutely true. We had a press launch where journalists were saying, did a member of the cast really jump onto a yacht and chase her on the QE2? Yes, they did. That really happened. That was Tony Adams on his own yacht chasing the QE2. I didn't make up a thing, except I do have her finding out why she was sacked. I don't think, in real life, apparently she never knew. She went to the grave not knowing. That doesn't make a very, I know it's terrible, isn't it? That doesn't make for a very satisfactory drama. And also the scene that I've created, and it's the only thing I've created, it's also possible that it happened because had she found out what she was told, she wouldn't have made it public, to be honest. So maybe rumour reached her, I don't know. But that's the only invention.
So, Russell, what is going on with you next? If I can get a word in between you and Julie, obviously.
Julie and I are flying off to the Bahamas together. That's my plan.
I promised you wouldn't tell them.
They knew, they could tell. Debbie goes to our bags all the time. Next, I'm going to be a long time on Doctor Who next. That's my next project. I'm kind of
are you?
Working on a lot of that already. We've got specials coming up at the end of the year. We've got a new Doctor coming up. So I'll be a while on that. I'll have to commit a few years of my life to it, which is a joy and exciting. But there are other things I want to write, so I'll get back to them eventually.
Can we have a Wonderbirds monster or something that comes in?
That's far too frightening. That's far too frightening. What are you doing to the children of Great Britain? Can you imagine? A hybrid.
A hybrid of all of us.
You're show running on Doctor Who, Russell, aren't you? I know that's an American term. I'm saying more of it now, but that's sort of everything, really.
It means kind of like, I mean, all it means is I take the credit for a lot of experts, really, but it means you're not just writing the scripts, you're part of the casting. And
that's quite a rare thing in this country for a writer to do, isn't it? I remember Tony McHale did it on Holby, and I think he was the first person ever to do that. So
lovely, Tony McHale. What a lovely man he is. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's becoming more and more prevalent because it's how it should be. The right, I sit here and invent all these people and type it all out, and so I know how things should look. It's like it makes sense for the writer to continue as part of production and continue to have their say while also listening to the experts. It's like it's no. I think you're an idiot as a showrunner if you sit there saying, no, that shirt should be blue, not yellow. You're not there to do that. You're there to appoint brilliant people who'll find the exact right shirt, so you don't need to worry about that stuff. But
I remember when Tony became, because he sort of he not initiated, he created Holby to start with. He's one of our greatest friends. In fact, you know, he's written Wonderbirds Investigates. I don't know if I told you that.
I didn't know that. Oh,
he's written us a series which has already been on. It's already nearly 1 million views, I think we got for it. And he's written another one, obviously, you know, because we tied him to a chair and forced him. But he's one of our greatest friends. But I remember when he became the showrunner of Holby after leaving it for years, and he, you know, after creating it, and then they won all the BAFTAs, and then he left, and it, you know, and then they took it off. I mean, what the hell was all that about?
What, I mean, every day of your life, you must be picking up. You write so beautifully for people's the internal. I cried so much watching It's a Sin. It was just, it affected me. I went away from it thinking about it. Everybody talked about it. It was just the intricacy of the way people think and feel, and you know, like you've said in the past, it affected us all, and that it was just, you were back in the 80s. It was
Thank
incredible.
you so much. I appreciate that. It transmitted 2 years ago yesterday. Weirdly, it's only 2 years, and it feels like it's been forever in my life. It was such. I mean, I was so honoured and privileged to write it. A friend of mine wrote to me and said about it. She'd been in the West End, she'd been in the West End choruses in those days, in the 80s. And she wrote to me and said, it's astonishing. She said that, we sent our best friends home to die in their childhood bedrooms while their parents hid them from the neighbours.
Oh, yeah. God.
I took 5 hours to say that. She did it in one line. Like that. I wish she'd said that to me at the beginning as an inspiration. What an incredible sentence. But that's when people don't realise that ever happened.
But what was extraordinary about it was that all of us who lived through it, it affected the young people. Because my son's a musical theatre performer, and he and all his friends, they were so affected by it, sort of 30 and under, completely, absolutely hooked and desperately upset by it.
Yes,
you know, he was asking questions about it because of the series. It affected every age group.
There were a lot of stories of parents and children watching it together. I've had families and people coming up to me in the street saying, I've had one ex-Doctor Who companion said she sat and watched it with her son, and he was furious. He was absolutely furious. He was sitting there going, how could that happen? How could they let that happen? How could you let that happen, Mum? She was going, it's not my fault. You know, they had quite a lot to do about it. It's like, I mean, in that sense, it's an honour to have written and a privilege. And I'm always aware that I'm standing on the shoulders of all, and you know this, all those people who run those charities. You've all been to those charity dinners and those charity marches for the Terence Higgins Trust, all those local people raising money for HIV. You know, I stand on their shoulders. Great work that's been done over the past 40 years, really.
God, absolutely. And we all remember that time so well.
Everybody else dropped out.
Yeah.
Russell, one thing that's fascinating about you, aside from your litany of endless skills, is that it's so positive, because obviously It's a Sin had quite a gestation period. You said Nolly was 40 years took you, and I know that Years and Years was about at least 20 years in the forming of it. Do you have other things that you thought of yonks ago that you are still yet to write? Because it's wonderful that you do it in the end. You don't just let them sit on the back burner. You get them to fruition.
I think that's very much the case here. I mean, it's people sort of say, when did you have this idea? And it's always hard to pin that down, because I sort of think they're things I've always been thinking about. You know, when I wrote Queer as Folk in 1998, that was like, well, I've been thinking about life as a gay man ever since I was 15 or something, so or 11 even. So they are ideas that are always there. I watched Noel Gordon being sacked in 1981, and I didn't necessarily sit there thinking, oh, there's a drama in this, but don't forget the things that you're interested in. Just don't forget them. The things that stay with you. So very often I find myself sort of saying, well, almost always I find myself saying, oh, I've been thinking about this idea for years, because I have.
Yeah. Do you jot them down in a notebook?
No, they all stay up there. I don't know. I know a lot of writers say, oh, I write things down. I write good lines down or good characters down. I don't know how you can forget them.
Yes.
Or if I have forgotten them, then I don't know. I suppose. So maybe a lot of classic things vanished from my head and I just don't know it. But they're all in a constant conversation, always in my head, all the time. It's a nice
Amazing. And Russell, is there ever a thing that you do apart from writing and creating and you know, that you love doing? I can see there's some beautiful paintings behind you.
Actually, I drew the, yes, I drew, I kind of, sometimes I wish my life had gone another way and I'd become a cartoonist. Because I drew those, and I love, it's very rusty now, it's a very rusty skill, but yeah, big part of me. Maybe I'll retire one day and just draw cartoons all day, because I love that.
Oh gosh, I'd love to see them. That would be amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's like, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're such a talented, amazing person, and a lovely person too, as they all said on Graham Norton.
They were very nice. They were very kind. I've got to say, I was terrified going with that. Terrified.
Were you? You look so relaxed. You look so relaxed.
They're very lovely. They're very clever.
Yes.
They relax you. It's a very nice atmosphere. And then you're sitting next to a say a lot of it's a lovely atmosphere. But oh my God, it's not my natural home. I've got to say. So I was for weeks before I was wound up. This week I've been like, oh, weight's gone off my shoulders. I'm like, hooray! I have to work now.
Exactly.
And did you know OT beforehand, Russell?
No,
did you?
I'd never met her, and we just clicked the moment I met her. I thought she was so delightful. I'd always loved her. I love her, but oh my God, it's fun. She's got kind of no idea how famous she is and how lovely she is. She's so down to earth. It's like, she's astonishing. Loved her.
Yes, really exactly. That's what's so good. And she's got a great energy, hasn't she?
Oh, bristling with it. Bristling. Oh, we hooted together, honestly. With these knees, I would never survive. I'd be one of those out in the first week people. I once went to a Strictly Live final when Ore Aduba won, and that's the finest television studio I've ever seen at work. The most professional, and I've been in a lot of television studios. That one was astonishing. The speed and the professionalism and the class of it. Oh, I loved it. What a show. But I think it's best experience from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Russell, just one thing, I don't know if we've got time, but I found it so fascinating. You spoke about possibly being a cartoonist, and I know, or a graphic designer, but I'm not sure if all of us know why your sort of life went in a different direction, because it's pretty amazing, the story back when you were, was it 15 and having a careers talk?
Oh, that is true. Well, it's like I was all set on my cartoons in the background, Debbie. And I was also
brilliant.
I really wanted to work in magazine design. I love I'm still fascinated by magazine design. I love that, and I was all focused on going into graphic design. And a careers tutor at my school in Swansea said, "Oh, you can't work in graphic design because you're colourblind." And so one chance remark completely changed the course of my life. Turns out that's not true. Or maybe it was true then, but I don't think it was. But I literally went, oh, I won't do that then. I'll go and do. So I did English at university instead of graphics. And isn't that funny? But thank God she did, even though she was wrong. I'm very happy with where I've ended up. So it's strange.
Yes.
And Russell, you know that Julie is my best friend. And we've been best friends for years and years. And I got, the thing is that when you cast her as Emma Thompson's best friend, I was seething. Why was that? Why because you've always seen her as everyone's best friend, haven't you?
Yes, that's very true. I mean, Emma Thompson was practically the heart of evil in that show. And much more subtle than that. She's so wonderful. And but I thought someone like that in public would have the nicest person by their side. There's no Julie. Don't we know this? There is no one nicer than Julie. And
oh my God!
I'm never dreaming that. I literally wrote into the script thinking, well, we'll be lucky. She doesn't need to do this. It's like, and you send off a script and you get a nice response, and along you came, and we were so happy you did.
I was honoured.
Well, Emma was delightful, wasn't she? Absolutely delightful.
Oh God, yes, she's phenomenal. She brought everybody cupcakes on the last day of filming, 3 different flavours each. I mean,
and Julie did say to me, I should be a little bit worried. We do say that when we meet other women, and you should be a bit worried about Emma Thompson. I went, okay.
She's a force of nature. She's incredible.
Keep you on your toes, Debbie. Keep you on your toes.
Well, darling, thank you, Russell, for coming. I'm so glad you liked your surprise.
I love it. Honestly, I'm never late. I really apologise for that.
No, not at all.
Sorry.
So
I want to speak to you too, Natalie and everyone. Thank you.
Love you, darling. Good luck.
Thank you. Do watch.
Love you.
We'll be glued.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Bye. Oh, I love
Wow.
Oh, I love him so
Wow.
much.
He is just the most amazing man. I think they said on the show, you remember this, do you?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
on the Norton, Helena Bonham Carter said 6'6", and every inch of him is kindness. And it's
Yes.
He's
It's so true,
I didn't know
isn't
he
it?
was so big.
sorry,
I didn't know he was so big.
he's 6'6". Can you believe it? Amazing, like a
I
gentle
know.
giant, just amazing
He is
man.
Yeah, gentle giant is a good description. I love
So
I
extraordinary thing you said about what one person can say to you when you're very young. One person
Yeah.
can just
One person. And he so wanted to be a cartoonist, and he is colorblind, was colorblind. I don't know enough about it to know if it stays with you through your life or if your eyes change. But the fact that she said, no, you can't pursue your dream because you're colorblind. I mean, he was versatile enough to have, to be able to go back to literature, and thank heavens he did. But it could have been very damaging.
Yes. It could have been
And
very
it could have been it was the Lord saying, you've got to write. There are so many actors that need you. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the time, I bet he didn't feel like that. I bet he
No,
just
exactly. But listen, we've got to say thank you to Julie and Natalie for being our what is it?
Wonder.
co-host.
To being this week's Wonderbirds.
Oh,
And
thank you for
Julie,
having us.
Oh, we
it's
love
been
it.
really
Julie,
delightful.
Julie, are you a little bit worried because I'm now Debbie's new best friend?
Yeah, that's
I go off in her car, but she's always wearing fur and she makes me laugh. We have a bond.
I know. I sensed this when I saw you on stage together. I just knew it. No point being jealous. Jealousy gets you nowhere. I just
True.
no.
At the end of the day, I would say you're all my besties, but for different reasons.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
And really good luck with the rest of the show. When does the run end?
11th of March.
Right. Fantastic. It's so.
Yes, by the time she comes back, she'll have blonde hair, tits out. You know what she'll be like by the time I finish. But
that wouldn't be right for the show.
no, that's just in real life.
Different parts.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh,
thank you.
It's so lovely. Thank you so much, guys. See you
Thank
soon.
you so much for asking me.
Welcome.
And if anybody's sitting there and wants to go to the Mill at Sonning, it's so worth it.
And the food's brilliant as well as the play.
We'll give you 20 quid. Is it 20 quid I have to give you now, darling?
50, darling, 50.
More. Backhander.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
Take care.
Bye.